Hello everybody, we're in Maine. Been here for a while. I haven't videoed really in a while, but I'm going to today because what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you about how this Jackery 3000 has worked for me in my van life for a month. We're charging, so I've got all the panels out. Of course, I've told you before, it only runs my ice cold fridge, which it's running right now. And I rarely plug other things into it, but we're now running on DC. I will tell you that using the AC just burned up way more power a lot faster. So we started at 51% at 8 o'clock this morning, and I don't know what time it is. It's only probably been an hour, but I let it get a little lower than I wanted to. So yeah, that's the ocean out there. Let's have a chat. All right, so check my mic and make sure it's on. Yeah, it's on. Done that before, done a whole video and then realized my mic wasn't on. So what we're going to do is, I am in Maine. That's the ocean back there. I'm at a local park. I've been urban dwelling. Kind of got my camera set up a little bit rickety, so I'm not sure if you're going to hold up. And you're moving. And also there's racquetball courts over there. There are kids everywhere because I am at a local park. People travel here from quite a few distances because I'm in Maine and I'm on the coast and I'm outside. You know, a lot of these villages along the ocean are very quaint, very beautiful. So there's a lot of tourist traveling action that goes on. But I wanted to come to the coast because I feel it's a little bit better. You know, rode out this most recent heat wave. A lot of bugs in the woods, you know, and I don't mind bugs. I've been on the road 3.5 years. My name is Karen. But given my choice, I prefer an ocean breeze and like really nice fresh air, and that's what the coast offers. So you got to kind of take the good with the. Actually, up here in the Northeast, it's just crowded everywhere. You're not going to find anywhere that doesn't have something going on. It's beautiful. It's cool. And so that's where I'm at right now. I don't want to say exactly what town I'm in because I'm still here and I'm going to be here for a little bit, but I'm on the coast of Maine. Today, as I mentioned earlier, is the HomePower 3000 30-day anniversary. And I would really like to talk about this battery and how it has performed in my van life. I am not sponsored by Jackery. I am not paid by Jackery. I'm not paid by anybody. So I owe nobody anything, and I can say exactly what I want. But what I will say is I am a fan of Jackery over Bluetti. I haven't tried any of the other power stations. I think you're getting ready to fall. Oh, you're going. You're going. I haven't tried any other power stations, so I can't speak for them, but I have used a Bluetti power station, and I have Bluetti panels. I've mentioned those in several videos, and I'm not going to cover them again. So I can honestly speak about Bluetti as opposed to the Jackery, and I prefer Jackery hands down. You're going to pay more, absolutely, but I don't think, I think the quality is absolutely above board. And I had a question on my HomePower 3000 the other day. called Jackery, and their responses are absolutely immediate. Very pleased with their service department. I think that that means a lot when you have power stations like this that you might have questions about that you can't find online, that you can reach out and get that support you need, especially with the amount of money that you're spending. So it's been 30 days. And what do I think? Well, the HomePower 3000, using it full time in a van. I showed you where it's located in my van. I showed you that it does power my 63 quart ice cold fridge. That is really its main job, is to power that fridge, which is really a critical element in your, in van life. You gotta, if you're gonna buy ice every day, ice is getting expensive. And if you're not, you're going to need to have a fridge. I have the ice chest style. I prefer that because I use it to sit on even. I use it to get in my bed. My dog uses it. I sit on it. It's a really durable fridge. Very expensive fridge, but has been worth every penny. I've had it for over a year now. But the HomePower 3000 is dedicated to the fridge. I have used it to run my fans, and I have used it to charge my vacuum cleaner, which is USB rechargeable. But that's pretty much all I've used it for. I don't have a lot of power items. I don't plan to use a lot of power items. I don't need a lot of power items. I've been 3 years at this and found that things that waste power or use too much power, I just don't want those things. You can see my solar panels out here. I am charging the HomePower 3000 right now. I have another set of panels going on behind me for the 500 Jackery. So let's go over it again. I have a 500 watt Jackery Explorer, which is the old style. I have a 1,000 watt Jackery 1000 that I've had for a year. And then the HomePower 3000 that I bought 30 days ago. So that in essence is 3, 4, 4,500 watts worth of power, which, I can rotate through if I run into a crunch of some sort. But let's talk about this HomePower 3000 and how it's worked. Initially started it on May 30th, stayed in a hotel, powered it to 100% because that's what Jackery says you need to do, is power it to 100% before you first use it. That's exactly what I did. I paid for a hotel and I plugged it in the hotel, did a video on that. I found I started out using the AC portion of, I've got notes here, the AC portion of the Jackery. And I'm going to tell you what, AC anything uses so much power. I was stymied because normally I would run my fridge off the 1000 and I would use DC. But I thought with the 3000, heck, I'll switch to AC, leave my little DC plug available to run my fan in the back, which I have a power cord going down for that. And didn't work out very well. I didn't stay. As a matter of fact, when I initially plugged everything in on May 30th, by June 3rd, I was like, no, we're not doing AC. But what I love about this battery, this HomePower 3000, is I was able to use it for 3 days without having to worry about powering it up. And that is such a relief. Because even trying to run as big as a 63 quart, which can draw anywhere from 45 watts to 75 watts, is the ABCs of Vanlife. You need to always be charging. And I don't have solar on the roof of the van, so I'm not charging while I'm driving. I don't have a DC to DC charger. As a matter of fact, I have mentioned before my concerns about that product, and sure enough, Teo, on his YouTube channel. He was smelling a burning, and he went back there and he found that the DC to DC charger being plugged into his Blue Eddy, which both products were Blue Eddy, was burning up. And right there. So I have been waiting for some of this new technology to be out for a while so I can see how it performs, which is what I prefer to do. The HomePower 3000 is basically a revision of the Jackery 3000. So it's been around for a while. It has the LiPo 4 system to it. It has a 5-year warranty. I'm just really pleased with the battery. So we actually went from 5:30 to June 30th or June 3rd, almost 4 days with my fridge set at 36 degrees. Now, mind you, I was traveling because I had the fridge delivered to me in Virginia. And then I traveled through Pennsylvania, went over to Niagara Falls, cut across, spent some time in Vermont, spent some time in New Hampshire, and then came across to Maine. And so during this time, the temperatures have been nice and cool. We did hit that heat wave recently, which, right, that the fridge used more power. Got bugs. There are bugs. I'm under a tree. Spiders are horrible about falling out of the tree. So to be able to go days without worrying about power was so nice, was so refreshing. I did stop a couple times and plug that battery in because what I discovered is I really don't want it to go below 70%. So I power up in case I run into days and days of rain, which can happen up here, or a hurricane or whatever. I want to be able to be powered all the time. I really think you're going to fall over before it's all over with. So anyway, and I ran that on AC. On June 3rd, I switched to DC power because I realized I was using 10%, 45 to 75 watts. I was using over 10% in a 12 to 24 hour period. And it was just too much power. So I switched over to DC, immediately reduced it in half. I was using 4 to 6% per 12 hours. And in a 24-hour period, I would only use 10%. So it was a lot lower of a power draw. 3 days, the battery went down to 70%. And I just absolutely loved that. I didn't have to worry about powering this thing at all for 3 days. And I still had 70%. So that's when I plugged it in. I found an outlet. I won't say where I find my outlets, but once you start seeing them on buildings, you start seeing them everywhere. So I found a place and plugged it in, and I was powered up in 45 minutes. You cannot beat that. That was 30% of power in 45 minutes. I have taken it into, I wheeled it into a laundromat and that I was doing laundry at, plugged it in there. They didn't say anything to me, although this is not a little battery. It's a pretty good size. Using the solar panels from 70% to 100%, I'm looking at 2 hours as opposed to 45 minutes. So you can see why you would want to either borrow an outlet or, use the solar panels. So if I'm parked in a park like I am now, the panels are out. I'm doing a little work. By the way, I don't edit my videos. I do other work, but I'm not a video editor, so my videos are not as streamlined, and I apologize for that. I'm just not that into filming, as you well know. I like to be present, and so I'm probably not going to make that many videos, but I'm hoping that my videos are substantially informative. How about that? All right, so let's shorten this up. What I love about it, fast charging. The HomePower 3000 is fast charging. From 0 to 100%, you're looking at 2.5 hours. If you get it down to 50%, you're looking at about an hour. If you get it down to 70% and you just want that extra 30% boost, 45 minutes. Cannot hate that. I mean, that is such a vast difference from the other two batteries that I have. It's so nice. It really is. It's so nice. It's consistent with its power output. I love its small size. I don't like its weight, but I don't think it's the lightest one in its class. I mean, this is a 3,000 watt solar battery that has a 3,600 watt output and can go up to a 7,500 surge protection. So that's a lot. To put that all in a small that I can handle, it's half my weight, but I can handle it. I'm very pleased with that. I like the power options, but it's just the weight that kind of gets me a little bit. And it would be nice if they had another DC port. You'd say to yourself, oh my God, they have DC converters. Oh, when I started Vanlife, I bought one of these. You see this? Right? It's an AC to DC. Right? AC, DC. And I initially used this after I took it off of AC, and I wanted to run my ceiling fan because my van is not built out, so I have everything kind of janky right now getting through till I get to a builder. And you know what? This converter, right? What it is, it's a converter, used double the power of a regular AC. I don't know if this is nice. It was not inexpensive, but it was not. So, yeah, just be forewarned. This is a Suco Bazaar or something made in China. Of course, everything in our world is made in China anymore. But yeah, nice idea. Doesn't work very well, and I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm going to assume that they are all very similar. This literally used more power than a regular AC port. So this is a no-go. In an emergency, right? In an emergency, I'm going to keep this because in an emergency, you know, I can convert AC power to DC power, and you never know when that emergency is going to be in for whatever reason. So, but I will no longer use this to power anything. So another AC port would have been nice. Or I'm sorry, another DC port. You know, if we could have more DC power as opposed to AC power, I think that'd be great. Anyway, so that is my 30-day update. I hope you got something out of this video. But I am very pleased with this. I wasn't sure when I first got it how I was going to use it, how it would perform, whether I'd be able to adjust and adapt, and I did. And those basically 400 watts of solar panels charge it really, really well. I haven't had any issues. It's just like anything. It's a longer process. So if I want to charge fast, I look for a plug in a park and try and use it there. But mostly I use the solar panels and haven't had any issues with that whatsoever. So please like, please subscribe, and let me know if you got something out of this video. And thank you, Jackery. Not sponsored. I am not sponsored. Not. But I am a fan. Thank you for watching.